I agree with David that we've been making tremendous progress on the security front. I'm deeply grateful to him and the effort that he's put into it. We can't claim that these global standards have had any specific impact. It may be that youth organizations acting independently and really decided that they need to think harder about the journals they use to cover the most difficult stories and how to use those journals. It may also be that young freelancers are acting with greater caution in terms of taking the stories they cover and how they cover those stories. So, whatever the explanation, since our lunch from last year, it seems that we have in fact made progress on this safety front. As we did last year, we will give this year's winners a day of security and situational awareness training with Frank Smythe of Global Journal Security, who is with us today. So, we are putting our money where our mouths are to put money behind training these young people to no matter where they go in the world, even walking down an avenue, boulevard in Paris, as you know, imagine can happen. Aside from trying to improve safety, what we're doing here today and what we've been doing here for 2 decades, speaking of 2 decades, where's Sonia from? Sonia Fry and I started this 21 years ago. Sonia, shout out to Sonia right here. But what we've been trying to do all this time is transmit values. It took me some time to figure out exactly what we were doing and why it was important. When I was a young correspondent on the ground for United Press International, we placed enormous emphasis on being there, getting the date line, we called it. We didn't just sit behind the monitor and look at the screens, look at the feeds coming in. We got the date line. And when I was on the ground in distant places, my goal was to figure out which group of people was doing what to the other group of people. I wanted to figure out how that was relevant to an American audience, how to make it relevant to the Omaha milkman, we used to call him. I wanted to tell a story to the milkman. I wanted to bear witness, that's another way to put it. So even though our beloved craft, our profession, has changed so dramatically over these years that it's barely recognizable of what I grew up in, and even though nobody today realizes what a milkman is, these young people share many of my values, many of our values. It's one of the reasons we selected them in the first place. Our judges, and they're listed in your program, thank you very much to all your judges. We apply several filters when we spend a day examining 180 applications from 60 different universities all across the United States, and Canada often, and sometimes we get them from Western Europe as well. We obviously want to know if the applicant can write. Can he or she tell the story? Has he or she been on the ground? But we also ask ourselves, if you were a foreign editor, would you send this person out to get the story? Do the motivations and the attitudes align? Do they have the right values? Does it all add up into a coherent whole that you would trust to send out into the world? It's purely a subjective filter that we apply, but it's one reason why we've been so successful, I think, over the years in picking young people who make their lives in journalism. 11 of our winners this year will receive fellowships from us, putting them in the bureaus of Reuters, Associated Press, Ground Truth, Forbes Magazine, and the Wall Street Journal. I mean, that's incredible support from those organizations. Thanks to all of you. We're going to start running through the awards. Before our day is, please. Winners and sponsors. Everybody's confused. We believe that our program is unique in the world. I've been asking John Janiszewski here, who travels the world with AP. Are you aware of any other organization like this in the world, any other foundation that focuses exclusively on identifying and training and gearing up young journalists? And we're not really aware of it. If it exists, I wish somebody would tell me about it. But also news organizations have their own training programs, but we believe we're the only independent foundation in the world doing this. We told the winners today not to thank anyone in their remarks. They'll speed it up nicely. We will assume, for purposes of this entire discussion, that they're immensely grateful to us for what we're doing. What we want to do is hear their passion, hear their what they care about, what they believe in, and that's what we want to hear.